In 1961, a man sat in a glass booth in Jerusalem on trial for crimes against humanity. He had overseen the deportation of millions of people to death camps. The world expected a monster. What they got was a middle-aged bureaucrat who spoke in cliches, complained about his career, and insisted he was just following orders. His name was Adolf Eichmann, and what his trial revealed about human nature is the most disturbing psychological discovery of the 20th century. The philosopher Hannah Arendt attended Eichmann's trial for the New Yorker magazine. She went expecting to document a monster. What she witnessed transformed her understanding of evil forever. Eichmann was not a sadist. He expressed no hatred toward Jewish people. He showed no signs of psychopathy. He was ordinary, disturbingly, completely ordinary. A man who simply never thought deeply about what he was doing. Arendt coined a phrase that became one of the most important ideas of the 20th century: the banality of evil. Evil, she argued, does not require evil people. It requires ordinary people who stop thinking, who follow procedures, who prioritize their career, their reputation, their comfort over the moral weight of their actions. Eichmann didn't think of himself as a murderer. He thought of himself as a good administrator. This idea was so disturbing that Arendt was attacked from all sides. People wanted Eichmann to be a monster, because monsters are rare. Because if evil requires ordinary people, then ordinary people are capable of evil. And that is a truth most of us would rather not examine. In 1961, the same year as Eichmann's trial, a psychologist at Yale named Stanley Milgram designed an experiment to test one question. How far would ordinary people go if an authority figure told them to hurt someone? Participants were told they were part of a study on learning. They would ask questions to another person in another room. Every wrong answer, they had to administer an electric shock. The shocks increased with each mistake, from mild discomfort all the way to a switch labeled simply danger. Severe shock, 450 volts. The person in the other room was an actor. The shocks were fake, but the participants didn't know that. They heard screaming, begging, silence. And when they hesitated, the experimenter in a lab coat simply said, "Please continue. The experiment requires that you continue." 65% of participants administered the maximum shock. Ordinary people, teachers, factory workers, professionals, not psychopaths, not monsters. People who in any other context would help a stranger, donate to charity, love their families. The only thing that changed was the presence of an authority figure and a system that told them it was required. Recent neuroscience has revealed exactly what happens in the brain during obedience to authority. A 2016 study at University College London used brain imaging to measure how people process the consequences of their actions under different conditions. When people acted on their own free will, their brain showed strong activation in areas associated with processing harm to others. When they acted under instruction, this activation was significantly reduced. The researchers called it a diffusion of responsibility. When someone tells you to do something, your brain partially transfers ownership of the outcome to them. You're still pulling the lever, but your nervous system registers less of the moral weight. This is not weakness. This is a feature of human neurology built for cooperative societies. The same mechanism that allows armies to function and businesses to coordinate is the mechanism that enabled Eichmann. Epictetus wrote, "Never say about anything I have lost it, but say I have returned it." What he meant was radical personal ownership. Nothing external. Not authority, not circumstance, not social pressure. Removes your responsibility for your own choices. This was not abstract philosophy. Epictetus was a slave. He had no power over what happened to him, but he refused to surrender ownership of how he responded. The antidote to the banality of evil is not heroism. It is simply thinking. Asking, what am I actually doing here? What are the real consequences of this action? Who is being harmed? Eichmann's crime was not sadism. It was the suspension of moral thinking in favor of procedural efficiency. The question, is this right, was replaced entirely by, is this correct procedure? 3 questions that break the spell of obedience. First, if I remove the authority telling me to do this, would I still do it? Second, would I be comfortable if everyone I respect could see exactly what I'm doing and why? Third, in 20 years, how will I explain this choice to myself? These questions force the prefrontal cortex back online. They reactivate the thinking that systems of authority are designed to suppress. Adolf Eichmann was not a monster. He was a man who stopped asking whether what he was doing was right, and replaced that question with whether he was doing it correctly. That substitution, right for correct, is the mechanism behind most of the organized evil in human history, and it operates in offices, institutions, and systems today. The defense is simple and difficult at the same time. Keep asking the first question. If this series is making you think differently, subscribe. Next video, we explore the dark psychology of narcissism, the most misunderstood and most dangerous personality pattern of our time. See you there.